Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Neon. I'm going to talk about Doctor Who. Geeky Sparkle sitting this one out. She doesn't care about Doctor Who. Most people don't care about Doctor Who. That's why the ratings are terrible. Terrible for Doctor Who, and now the producer is coming out and saying that they're really respectable. They're respectable ratings. Absolutely respectable ratings. This is why they're getting rid of Chris Chibnall, getting rid of Jodie Whittaker, replacing Chibnall with Russell T Davies, and reportedly, possibly, maybe, even bringing David Tennant back. According to a rumor, we don't know if this is going to happen or not, but it does seem like the BBC is aware there's a problem. They're aware that the ratings are down, right? They want to sell Doctor Who merchandise, and 13th Doctor merch is not selling. The ratings are terrible. They are what they are. Huge amounts of copium being inhaled, I think, over there at the BBC. So we're going to talk about this. Before we get into it any further, please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, guys. Almost 257,000 subs. Thank you so much for the support. We do talk about Doctor Who, not nearly as much as we used to, because we have lost interest in the show other than to report on the dumpster fire that is current year Doctor Who, just like so many other franchises, right? Everything's burning. Everything we loved is burning. And, at some point you're just kind of like, yeah, I'll look at it and laugh. I'll laugh at them for making stupid decisions because it's not going to change anything. We thought complaining would change, stupidly thought for years that complaining would change things, and it doesn't. They just double, triple down on stupidity. Now, in the case of Doctor Who, I have a slight glimmer of hope with Russell T Davies coming back, but it's a very, very slight, very tiny glimmer of hope because, you can never go home again. Russell T Davies' current year is not the same Russell T Davies of 2005. And even with him coming back, I think the show is still lost, especially if they don't retcon the Timeless Children. That was just some serious bullshit. So let's go out to Digital Spy. Doctor Who producer responds to reports of struggling ratings. I think our ratings are really respectable. Doctor Who Flux was an interesting experiment, seeing how viewers would react to a single story spread out over 6 weeks as opposed to more self-contained episodes. No, Doctor Who Flux was an interesting experiment. It should have been called Doctor Who Flux the Fans, Flux You Fans, because they retconned the Doctor's origin. That's what the problem was. It wasn't that there was an overarching story. It was that they retconned the Doctor's origin. The run has an average consolidated viewership of 4.8 million, which is down compared to the prior year's 5.4 million average per the Radio Times. Even the Radio Times has to admit it's bad, but I think they're trying to find the positives. Like, well, it could be worse. It could be worse. Yeah, it can always be worse, right? Executive producer Matt Strevens, who is departing alongside showrunner Chris Chibnall and current Doctor Jodie Whittaker. I think they got their asses pushed out of the TARDIS, is what I think happened. Because when Russell T Davies comes back, he gets complete control of the show. And you know who bought his company as soon as he signed that paper? Sony. So we'll see what happens. He has explained that he isn't bothered by the slightly lower ratings, explaining that they're still very strong for a show like this, broadcast traditionally in today's TV climate. Horseshit. This used to be one of the most popular sci-fi shows on TV, one of the most popular sci-fi shows in the world. And you've destroyed it. You've destroyed the viewership. You've destroyed the fandom. Nobody cares. Speaking in the latest Doctor Who magazine, Strevens said, "What's fascinating to me is the way Doctor Who viewing figures are obsessed over, unlike many other shows on TV. And that's fine, because I think it's a testament to the fact that people are still always keen to read about Doctor Who. So it's probably a positive thing." No, it's not a positive thing. People are like, what the hell have you done to this show? What have you done to this show? I mean, episode over episode, season over season, the ratings have been declining. Now, they were declining at the end of Peter Capaldi's run. They were. But they got this massive bump with a change in showrunner, and, people were curious. They were like, what's a female doctor going to be like? And then they got told to go fuck themselves when they were angry about the show being boring, the show being preachy. And they were angry about a retcon to 60 years of Doctor Who lore. I mean, that's a massive, massive investment of time, money, resources, from a fandom that just so flippantly was told to go fuck itself, go flux itself in a season or two. I mean, it's ridiculous. He compares it to Vigil. Of course, you get the odd juggernaut like Vigil, but by and large, 5 odd million is really healthy for any drama on terrestrial. And on streaming services, they can only dream of figures like that. So I think our ratings are really respectable. Doctor Who used to pull in, back in the day, 8 to 10 million or more, depends. I mean, you can see the decline. Stop making excuses. You guys killed this show. It could have been so much more. I mean, we've even seen a lack of interest in the merchandise sales. I mean, you go to Disney World, you go to Epcot in the UK Pavilion, they used to have a massive Doctor Who section, all kinds of Doctor Who merch. Nobody cares. There's not much there for sale. Our videos on Doctor Who don't perform very well at all. People, I mean, we used to on average get 100,000 on a Doctor Who video. I think when people were shocked at the direction the show was taking, and now we're lucky if we get like 25. Nobody cares. You've killed this show. You've killed interest in this show. The only thing that can resuscitate it is to roll the clock back a little bit, and especially roll that retcon back. But I somehow don't think that's going to happen. He continued that for him, noting that frustrating is too strong of a word. When overnight figures are reported and compared to previous consolidated figures in order to make the most dramatic headline, that's a bit disingenuous, especially when you look at the way television is consumed today. This is fine, everybody. It's all fine here. We didn't kill Doctor Who. What the hell does he care? He already cashed his check. He cashed his check. He's moving on. I mean, it's like a fast food restaurant worker. Like, oh, hey, yeah, you poisoned the food. Everybody got food poisoning. You're gonna take a job someplace else, but the restaurant owner, yeah, they're getting sued. And the restaurant's going out of business. But it's not your problem. You've already moved on to Walmart. You're working someplace else. And that's the mentality. That's the mentality of the people working on these shows, these long-running shows. Is I did my time, I cashed my check, I'm moving on. I don't have to deal with the fallout. Chris Chibnall's not going to have to deal with the fallout. Chris Chibnall will be fine. He'll move on to something else. It's going to be somebody else's mess to clean up. And that's what happens. And that's why they don't care. They don't care because it was just a paycheck. Do you think Rian Johnson lays awake at night thinking about the damage he did to Star Wars? Hell no. He's going to do other movies, maybe not Star Wars, but he's going to do other movies. He's going to make millions of dollars. Does Kevin Smith lie awake at night thinking about the He-Man fandom? Fuck no. No, he's already moved on to the next project, the next thing, the thing that actually matters to him. And that's the thing. When you're hired help, it never matters to you as much as the person who originated the show, or maybe a super fan that wound up, becoming a showrunner or whatever. It's not your baby anymore. It's not your thing. Whatever. You did your time. You got your check. Doctor Who is available on iPlayer, so audiences can still watch it whenever and wherever they choose. With Russell T Davies returning to run the show, it's clear Doctor Who isn't going anywhere. No, but it is clear that they're rethinking the whole thing. For them to bring Russell T Davies back, hand the keys to the TARDIS over to him, with the rule that he gets to do whatever the hell he wants to do with it, and then he immediately turns around and sells his company to Sony, it's pretty bad. I mean, come on. It's bad. They're never going to admit that it's bad, but it's really fucking bad. Like, you have completely destroyed so much fan goodwill in just 2 years. And a lot of fans probably won't come back, even for Russell T Davies. I mean, it's a nice bit of nostalgia bait, I think. I'm on the fence about it. I would love to have him come back and just be like, yeah, the last couple seasons, yeah, it never happened. We're going to pretend it never happened, or we'll use some wibbly-wobbly, timey-wimey something to just undo it, so we can't have people come after us and be like, oh my God, you undid the first female doctor's story arc completely. Oh my God, you erased her from history. Which would have, they can't walk it back, because you know what's going to happen. Oh my God, you just erased a woman. this was her story and you erased her. It's like, no, they erased a really bad fucking idea from canon. And who knows, they might do it. Hell, they wiped Ghostbusters 2016 and that was Sony too. You know, and you can have a female doctor that is beloved by a lot of the fans as long as you give her good material to work with and don't tell the fans to go fuck themselves. I mean, some people weren't on board with the idea of a female doctor at all. I was like, I want to see if the show was any good. And unfortunately, the show was the worst it has been in decades. It was absolutely abysmal and so heavy-handed. And my son, who loved Doctor Who, was like, this is the magic school bus. This is basically the doctor is Miss Frizzle, and she's taking all these kids around to edutain them, you know, to educate them. And it's boring as hell. And he noped out after like 2 episodes, you know. So we'll see. We'll see if they can get the fans back. But I love the copium. It's like, no, I'm sorry. You guys destroyed the show. Own it. But they're not going to, because the next employer is going to be like, oh, so what'd you do? Oh, I see you're on Doctor Who. Well, yeah, that didn't go well, did it? Oh, no, actually, it went very well. It went very well. We did very well, all things considered. I'm like, this is Doctor fucking Who. You can't compare it to other science fiction. It's an institution. It's got a massive fan base. You know, and I think that Disney is kind of running into this with Star Wars too. Like, well, Star Wars is doing about as good as Star Trek, so we're okay. You know, it's like, no, it's fucking Star Wars. It's supposed to be amazing. It's supposed to be monumental. It's supposed to smash records. Always, every time. And it hasn't. It's underwhelming. Anyway, I'm going to wrap this up. Please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, guys. We'll talk later.